Hi, my name's Darren Burns. I'm the National Recruitment Ambassador for the Timpson Group. I think I've got the best job in the world, really. I've been with Timpson now for about 9 years, and it's my job to recruit amazing colleagues into our business. I'm also very proud to say that I look after the Timpson Foundation, which provides training and employment opportunities for marginalised groups, including ex-offenders. The Timpson Foundation was founded back in 2002 by our CEO, James Timpson. James was invited into a local prison with a number of other local business leaders, and he was shown around by a serving inmate, a young guy named Matt. Matt was very intelligent, very articulate, and James really liked him. Probably a breach of security, but James slipped him a business card and said, "Matt, when you get released, give me a call and we'll see if we can give you a job." Matt was good to his word. When he got released 6 months later, he called James, and James decided to give him a job. At that moment, James realised that if there's one really good guy like Matt in one small prison in the northwest of England, there's surely got to be hundreds, if not thousands, of people who just need that opportunity, just need that second chance. So from that moment on, we began to proactively recruit ex-offenders into our business. Very proud to say that we are now one of the largest, if not the largest, employer of ex-offenders in the UK. Currently, about 10% of our workforce are made up of people who've either been to prison or who've got an offending background, and that roughly equates to about 650 people at any one time. We do it in four main ways. So we've got four streams of recruitment with foundation colleagues or ex-offenders. The first one is a scheme that we access called ROTL, which stands for Release on Temporary Licence. And this is where typically either me or one of my area manager colleagues will go into a prison and interview some serving inmates. We might have a recruitment need in Liverpool, Birmingham, Manchester, Glasgow. And what we'll do is we'll go in, we'll speak with the prison staff initially, and we'll say we'd like to interview 10 men or 10 women, because obviously we work within the female estate as well. And we interview the guys in prison. The interviews are very kind of informal, 10-15 minute affairs. We do a very comprehensive risk assessment to start with, and then once we've done that, the interview carries on as normal. And all we're looking for is that kind of spark of personality. What we're looking for is people with charisma, people who can communicate and engage with our customers and ultimately provide them with great customer service. So once we've identified these people, what we do then is we go back to the prison staff and we say we'd like to give this person an opportunity on ROTL. This person will then be released from prison every day. We'll go out and do a full day's work in one of our many high street branches, be it a Timpson branch, a Max Beerland branch, or even a Johnson's branch. When they finish work that evening, they'll return to the prison and get locked up. And that usually continues for many months until they get released. And we find it's a great way not only to kind of slowly integrate people back into society, but as a business, selfishly, we get an opportunity to kind of build a rapport with these people, find out what makes them tick, and identify if they're going to be a success or not. 9 times out of 10, it works very, very well. When these people go on to get released, we meet them at the gate, we give them a uniform, we buy them a travel pass, and we put them to work straight away in the branch. And it's a very kind of cost-effective and efficient way for us to recruit. These people are a huge asset to our business. Our second stream of recruitment is that we've got a number of prison training academies up and down the UK. So the best way to explain these is that if you think of one of our branches, so think of a Timpson branch, for example, all of the equipment that we've got there, the shoe repair machines, the key cutting machines, the engraving equipment, everything we've picked the whole thing up and we've actually dropped it inside a prison. So rather than the men or the women work on the wings, serving tea and coffee, cleaning on the wings, doing things which aren't really vocational, which aren't going to lead to any real prospects of employment upon release. Instead, we ask them to turn up at our academy every morning, looking sharp in a Timpson uniform with a name badge on, and we teach them all of the skills and services that we offer the public. The only thing we have problems teaching in prisons is key cutting for obvious reasons, but everything else we pretty much teach. These people are continually being assessed, not only in terms of skills and services that we're teaching them, but also their attitudes and behaviours. When people reach a certain level of skill, and what we do is we send one of our area managers in to have a chat with them, to introduce themselves, just to so they can put a face to their name, because obviously they're going to be working for these people. And then again, when these people go on to get released, we meet them at the gate, we give them a travel pass, help them out with anything else they may need help with, and we give them a job. And again, it works very, very well. It's good for the prisoners because they essentially have that continuity. All of our branches, be it Timpson, Max Beerland or Johnson's, obviously the same culture kind of permeates through all of our businesses. And not just that, the kind of physical look of our branches is all uniform. So once you've been in one Timpson branch, look very similar to the next one, etc. So that important continuity is there for the prisoners. They've got something familiar. They've been doing all the training while they're in prison, and they can hit the ground running when they get out and get stuck into work. And again, that works very well for us. Our kind of third stream of recruitment is that I visit lots of prisons and I will interview serving prisoners for positions upon release. These are prisoners who have either got very short sentences, so aren't able to access ROTL, or are in certain prisons that don't offer the scheme of ROTL. And again, as with the interviews before, very kind of informal, laid back, 10-15 minutes. We do a comprehensive risk assessment, and the people who I feel would be a really good fit for our business, we arrange to meet them at the gate and put them to work, and that works really well. And our fourth and final stream of recruitment with foundation colleagues is that we get lots of referrals. So people obviously know that Timpsons is kind of synonymous with being ex-offender friendly, and that gives them the confidence to apply online and disclose that they've got an offending history. It's not a big deal with us at all. And also we get lots of referrals from police, probation, lots of other third sector organisations who ask us to meet with these people, to interview them, to risk assess them, and to give them an opportunity, provided we've got a vacancy. And that's what we do. Reasons we do it are essentially twofold. The first kind of set of reasons, if you like, is because we believe it's the right thing to do. It's good for society. Reoffending costs the UK taxpayer £18 billion a year. So anything we feel we can do as a business to essentially divert people away from crime and get them into gainful employment, contribute them into the tax system, and just being law-abiding citizens, we think is the right thing to do. Not only that, but it creates fewer victims and makes our communities safer. And there's obviously huge benefits for the actual prisoners themselves and the families as well, because they haven't got all the worries of going back into custody or reoffending and all the stuff that brings with it. So there are huge kind of savings to the taxpayer, and we all benefit as a result because there are fewer victims and fewer crimes. The other kind of set of reasons that we do this, and we're so passionate about it, is because we believe it's really good for business. The people that we take on from custody, without question, very hardworking, highly loyal, highly productive individuals, and often they're even more honest than people that we take on from other streams. So, for example, I get a report every year from our head of security, which outlines how many people have unfortunately been dismissed for stealing from us, essentially. And the amount of foundation colleagues or ex-offender colleagues that appear on that list pale into insignificance compared to other colleagues that have come through more usual streams, shall we say. And we believe that is because these people have been turned down again and again by lots of other employers, and because we've given them that trust and we've given that opportunity, they really don't want to betray that. So they go on to do really good things for us. We've basically had no huge emergency, so we've never had anyone kill anyone or anything like that. That being said, we do take on people who've committed some very serious offences, but we've had no major issues. I mean, the reason we don't is because we set the bar very high. One of the big problems we have is that because we are synonymous with employing ex-offenders and we're ex-offender friendly, we get lots of other agencies who just kind of signpost people to us just because they've got an offending history. And sometimes that's not a good fit. I mean, these people need to be work ready. There's no point, for example, sending us somebody who's got a 25-year crack addiction and crippling mental health issues and all this. These issues need resolving first, and only when these issues have been resolved and then these people are work ready and can hold down a job, do we engage with them then. Employment is just such an important factor. It's not the be all and end all, but it's a very important factor. We essentially think that once people have got somewhere safe to live, they've got a support network around them of friends and family and employment, the chances of reoffending are almost halved. So there's clear evidence there that employment, along with the other things I've mentioned, are a key factor to reducing reoffending. And we've got a number of kind of programs in place where we pretty much like to help anybody. So what we've got is a structured work experience program whereby people who aren't quite ready for the world of work, a proper 9-to-5, working hard graft. What we do then is we offer them a 2-week structured work experience. And that's not kind of your old school work experience that you might have had in kind of third year senior school. It's a lot more structured. So these people are given a uniform, they're given a name badge, they get given a list of tasks that they're going to perform throughout the work experience program. And it's just a more kind of structured feel to it, rather than just ask them to make tea and stand in the corner quietly. And that works really well. And the feedback that we get from that is that it does give people that real kind of taste of the world of work and prepares them to move on to the next stage. Probably the most important thing in our business is our culture. We realised pretty early on that our biggest asset within our business are our colleagues. Without our colleagues, we simply wouldn't have a business, and because of that, we treat them really well. We really look after our colleagues. We're a family-owned and run business, and all of our colleagues are kind of part of the wider Timpson family. We've got a huge kind of raft of colleague benefits, in both financial and welfare benefits. So some of the kind of headline-grabbing ones, if you like, are the fact that nobody in Timpson or across our businesses, in fact, works the birthday. Everybody gets the birthday off. If your birthday does fall on maybe Christmas Day or on a day where you'd be off anyway, you get an extra day's leave. If you get married, you get an extra week's leave. You get a £100 bonus in your pay, and you get to use our company limousine for your wedding car. We have a number of holiday homes throughout the UK and Europe, which are free for our colleagues and their families to use. And we just have lots of other kind of benefits going on. One of the things I'm lucky to be involved in is a scheme called Dreams Come True. And this is where essentially colleagues from across the business, from across the UK, write into James Timpson, our CEO, and they all say, James, worked for the business for a number of years. My dream is always to visit Australia or to go on a Caribbean cruise or wherever it might be. And I'm lucky enough to be involved in that in a small way surrounding our ex-offender colleagues or foundation colleagues. And we've done some wonderful things for our colleagues. So we've paid for cosmetic surgery. So we've paid for many nose jobs, boob jobs. We've paid for IVF. So we've now got our first Timpson baby, which is a really nice one. But we do lots of kind of poignant things as well. So we've paid for funerals, which is really sad, but it's a nice thing that we can do for our colleagues, and it means a hell of a lot. And we just help people out. We have a hardship fund as well. So if people find themselves in financial difficulty, maybe the boiler breaks unexpectedly or the car breaks down, we can give them interest-free loans or even gifts sometimes to get the repairs done and enable them to sort of crack back on. So yeah, we do all these wonderful things for our colleagues, but more than that, this kind of culture of kindness just permeates across the business. We employ something called upside down management, which means that the most important people in our business aren't the typical people you'd find, the decision makers, the board of directors. The most important people in our business are the people at the coalface, the people working in our branches, putting money in the till. They really are the kings and queens of our business, and without them we wouldn't have a business. And because of that, it's made very clear from day one that people like me, people who work in Timpson House, which is our HQ, we are there solely in support of all of our wonderful colleagues in the branch, and it's our job to remove any barriers or obstacles that they may encounter. So that's pretty much how we run our business. My message to other businesses and other employers who are keen to get into this space and maybe offer opportunities to marginalised groups, particularly ex-offenders, my door is always open. I'll always be happy to essentially advise how we do it in our business and how we've done it successfully. But you just need to think of it. I mean, there's a huge pool of untapped talent in our prison systems. There are 10 million people in the UK with a criminal conviction more serious than a driving offence. So that's roughly 1/6 of the UK population. So to throw that amount of people on the employment scrap heap and assume that they're worthless, they've got nothing to offer, we just think is absolute madness. So what I would advise people to do is just think again. As I said, our prisons are full of wonderful people with lots of skills and talent and ability. And our advice is always to arrange a visit with your local prison. Go in, speak to your local resettlement department, your outwork department, and just see if you can build up some sort of rapport with your local prison and treat that really as a kind of a recruitment centre for your business. I'm always on hand to give advice and help if needed, but it's worked well for our business. We've recruited some amazing people through the prison system, and these people often just need that opportunity and just need that second chance.